You've seen that a database is composed of tables, that a table can have multiple records, and that each record can have values in multiple fields. You've also seen that a database can have more than one table, and that tables can be linked so that a record in one can reference related data in another. As you've seen, the file I'm working on here presently has two tables, and they're linked together by matching values in a field in each table. That is, each record in the publishers table has a unique identifying number in the serial number field. And in the books table, the serial number of the publisher of each book is entered into the publisher ID field. This makes a connection between specific records in the two tables so that the relevant publisher record in the publishers table is associated with the book records for that publisher. In this case, because a publisher can publish many books, we're storing the publisher details in only one place, yet making them available to all of the book records where they're relevant. Because there can be many books related to one publisher, this is called a many-to-one join. Let me demonstrate. If I go into Find mode, and then enter Find Criteria to locate the books published by Penguin, you can see that the name of the publisher is displayed on both book records. That's because the 2 in the Publisher ID field in the Books table links both these book records to the same publisher record. If I were to change the Publisher ID value on one of these book records, say for example to a 3, I'll be linking that book to a different publisher record. As soon as I do, as you saw, the name of the new publisher appears in the adjacent publisher name field. So now, I no longer have to type the publisher name each time. Instead, all I have to do is to enter the correct publisher ID value to provide the appropriate linkage between the books record and the relevant publisher record in the publishers table. Notice, by the way, that even though the publisher name field is located in the publishers table, not in the books table, I was still able to search for books by publisher name. That means that FileMaker was able to find all the book records that are related to the publisher name I entered, meaning that a find is able to work backwards from values in a related field to return a corresponding set of matching records in the current table. Now, since a particular edition of a book is issued by a single publisher, it's safe to assume that there'll only be one publisher per book, so we can confidently expect the relationship between books and publishers to be a 1 or more to 1. That is, 1 or more books may be related to one publisher. However, in practice, you don't have to set up the relationship in any special way to enable this one-to-many behaviour. FileMaker is flexible in the way it allows us to work with relationships. So it's how we use the relationship and how we enter the data that determines what kind of relationship arises between records in the two tables. Relationships can be one-to-one, one-to-many, many-to-one, or many-to-many. In the Relationships tab of the Manage Database dialog, FileMaker makes its best guess as to what sort of relationship has been created. Because the field in the Publishers table is a serial field, and serial fields usually hold unique values, FileMaker draws a single straight line from the serial field, showing there's a connection to only a single record. But the line on the opposite end branches into what's called a crow's foot, in other words, into multiple lines showing that there is the possibility of a connection to more than one record in the books table. However, that's only one of the ways relationships can be set up. It won't always be suitable, so in due course we'll need to explore a few different ways to set up relationships so they make sense for the different kinds of information we may need to store.